Hello, everyone. James Hilliard back with you for another Take 5 podcast from PC Connection. Cloud backup and disaster recovery. It's a component of a disaster recovery plan that involves maintaining copies of enterprise data in a cloud storage environment as a security measure. And that is the focus of our chat today. Kevin O'Connor on board, Senior Director, Technology Solutions Group for PC Connection, is with us. And Kevin, let's do a quick lay of the landscape as it stands today.
Very interesting landscape that we see in front of IT decision makers today, ranging from fully managed solution where all the application and the recoverability aspects of it are managed, by the provider at one end of the spectrum, and then over on the, more traditional end of the spectrum for those that have an existing infrastructure in place and aren't looking to wholesale replace their applications. We see both cloud backup as well as cloud replication as solutions there. They vary pretty dramatically, both in terms of recovery time and recovery point in terms of, fidelity of records and so forth. But I think when you look under the covers, there's some more interesting aspects that need to be considered. One of the things that strikes us about cloud backup is, while implementation is fairly easy, when it does come time to recover from that, there's a substantial amount of IT staff time that gets consumed with, rebuilding and recovering from those backups, whereas in the replication scenario, we definitely see that is much more instantaneous. There's less of a demand on the IT staff because you're using something that's, real time by the very nature of replication. And so that IT staff can turn back to other aspects of the business continuity plan that maybe need attention. So, definitely interesting. The other dynamics there are that, while we've seen the first generation of disaster recovery help people gain efficiencies and economies of scale by going from single tenant to multi-tenant, and that certainly contributed. We're now in a situation where there's a second generation of disaster recovery improvement coming along that allows you to use dissimilar infrastructure on the target side. In the old days, you used to have identical sets of hardware both at the source side and at the target side. Now that can vary widely, which leads to, a whole new level of economic efficiency for these solutions.
And Kevin, speaking of these IT pros, let's give some more key considerations, things they need to be aware of when planning for this technology.
Yeah, well, the first thing that we always advocate for, James, is that an overall business continuity plan is in place. And that really should guide and validate, the decision making in terms of which solution is right. The overall business continuity will help understand, where users are going to be, how they're going to be provided with, access to, an application or an infrastructure in the event of a failure of some type. And that really will help set the framework for where the recovery time and recovery points come into play. The next part is to look at skills and abilities. That plus, the investment requirements. If you've got an IT staff that you really need to vector onto other elements of recoverability, right? You've got a largely distributed mobile workforce. Some element of this failure has impacted them dramatically. Or you're maybe a large on-campus workforce, that really changes the landscape of where your IT staff would need to focus. Those are a couple of the key considerations that we really bring in as part of our conversations with our clients.
And Kevin, for teams that are looking for support on a project like this, what is available from the PC Connection family of companies in terms of services?
One of the things that we like to execute with our clients is what we call a cloud workload assessment. And we'll look at many factors that contribute to the overall IT architecture that organization has in place. We'll talk a little bit more about, what technologies are consuming today, what's on their roadmap, and how they're going to flow those together. Those are going to be critical elements of it. We're going to investigate whether or not they're at a level where integration of public cloud makes sense. Public cloud is a wholesale destination for them to run their workloads, or for something that they're going to integrate in more of a hybrid cloud scenario. Now, not all clients are ready to make that move, and so, we often find ourselves engaging with our clients to help continue to prepare and ready the application stacks they have in place in their existing data centers. And some of that leads to, hybrid type of solutions, something where there's a co-location facility that becomes part of their disaster recovery plan, or maybe, further on-premise technology that could be as simple as backup that is a more appropriate fit for where they are today.
Hey, Kevin, good stuff. Do appreciate it, sir. Folks, if you want more information, a couple things you can do. You can either use the phone numbers and the URLs on the screen right now to get more information, or if you have an account team in place, that is the best place to start. They'll get you in touch with all the on-staff specialists and pros to get you moving forward on your cloud backup and disaster recovery project. For Kevin O'Connor, I'm James Hilliard. Thanks for joining us on this Take 5 podcast.